This is my 3G alternator upgrade on my 1987 Foxbody Mustang. So they say that you've got to clearance the mount a little bit, and you do. Right there is a little notch just to clear that bolt. I also had to do a tiny bit of grinding just underneath the black bracket here, because it hit the case here. There's also another little tiny bit of grinding down, I don't know if you can even see it, right down in here, where the case is going to contact it. Don't do what I did. Cover up your motor before you start grinding, or you'll have grinding crap everywhere. Anyway, I went with a 4G cable. So I put my breaker here on the passenger side, just behind the air box. I don't have mass air. I probably won't do that upgrade. Maybe not. This car is more intended as a comfortable cruiser than anything else. So I ran this cable down around the back side of the air box. This is a piece of PEX that I had laying in the scrap. It never worked any good as, not PEX, polybutylene. It never worked any good as waterline, but it worked pretty good as just protecting that cable through there. And then I ran it inside a sleeve, inside the rad support. Because there's just too much stuff going on with all these wires here. I didn't want to run it with this. So it's in a sleeve right inside the rad support. And it's fine. It comes back out right down there. We'll use another piece of protection underneath the battery. It'll probably be down in here and up. Now I put my breaker over there because, quite frankly, it's just too busy over here. So that's my 4G cable install. Now over with the pigtails. This is the stock plug. I haven't cut it off yet. Somebody had hokied on this in the past. So from the factory, this comes out of this plug down here, down here, down here, down here, and then goes into one here. I bought a new pigtail to go into the plug. And then I was looking through my scrap to find the correct little plug to plug into where the white wire goes, and I found a complete pigtail. This is out of a 1999 Ford Ranger. So I'm going to use this whole plug and keep the new one for a spare, because it's already got the loop. Everything's done right, and it's in great shape. So the important thing is that you're only going to hook up the yellow and the green. Those are the only two that you're going to hook up. The yellow is basically the wire that senses the drop or the draw and gets it to charge. And the green, of course, is the ignition power, I believe, anyway. So I've already removed most of this factory power wire. Let's just call it a power to the solenoid battery. And I've already pulled it all out. I've pulled it all out pretty well, all out of this, because I think the previous owner must have had a problem with it. So down in here, you can see this here is that single power wire that goes to the starter solenoid and then back to the battery. So this wire here is the fusible link. This wire here is the fusible link that goes back to the yellow wire, which is what senses the load. So what I'm going to do, this has to be connected, this wire here. So I'm going to cut the old wire right here, right at the junction here, and tape the bejesus out of this, because that'll give me, so there's one fusible link here and one fusible link here. So they don't look like they've been melted, so I think they're fine, to the best of my knowledge anyway. And then we'll start it up and run it. But you have to leave this yellow wire that goes over to this alternator has to be connected, preferably back to the starter relay solenoid. That's about it. Pretty easy, actually. I used all proper ends. The other thing I did was I bought the right size of shrink wrap, and I put 2 layers of shrink wrap on the connections, and I soldered those, and I soldered them both. So the other thing you might notice is this is an 80 amp. That's all they had in stock, so I just grabbed one. If it doesn't work, I can use it somewhere else and I'll get a 150, but I don't think that this car has 80 amps of draw. So even though it is a 130 amp alternator, it doesn't have 80 amps to feed. Maybe I'm wrong. Wouldn't be the first time. But I can swap that out easy. That's about it. Don't be afraid to attempt this. It's dead easy. Try to do it nice and clean. Make sure that that big fat 4-gauge power wire is not going to come into any issues with anything, and you're fine. Have a good day.